Hey YouTube land, Carnotaurus here doing another action figure review, and today we're having a look at a well, it is a Jurassic World figure. It's the Hammond collection from Mattel. This is the Jurassic World Carnotaurus. So this is the box it comes in. It's the standard style Hammond collection box with kind of metal crate style design with the amber. It's basically the top of Hammond's staff with an actual picture of Hammond inside it. And then you got the Mattel logo down the corner. You have the Jurassic logo, which is kind of embossed on the box, which is nicely done. Then you have an image of the Carnotaurus. And then flipping around the back of the box, you have a small brief write-up. It says, as Claire Daring, Owen Grady and Franklin Webb attempt to flee from the erupting volcano on Isla Nublar, the menacing Carnotaurus interrupts their plans and stops them in their tracks. While a gyrosphere offers some protection, it is the surprise appearance of the Tyrannosaurus Rex that ultimately allows them to escape. So this is the... does it actually say it on it? Yes. This is the Carnotaurus from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, which is the second of the Jurassic World films. So the first one was just Jurassic World. You got Fallen Kingdom, and then Dominion was the last one. So this is the one supposedly from Fallen Kingdom that you see turn up in that scene with the gyrosphere as indicated on the box. Now I don't have a gyrosphere to showcase it with, but we will have a look at the figure. So we'll start with, now there is some assembly. This tail section from here needs to be plugged in place when you get it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it as lengthways as I can. It might be a little off screen there, just bear with me. So we'll get from tail to snout, it is around 18 inches if you have it just completely outstretched, but it is designed so that you can give it that more, if I just get into a better standing position. Bear with me a second. Just move the legs around. You can get into a more kind of squat, more upright position with the neck. So when you have it that way, it does drop it a small bit to about 16 inches. Height wise off the ground when it's in this pose, the highest point is to its the horns on its head, which is around just under 7.5 inches. Then it is around 6 inches in height for most of the way. You can obviously either, have it raise up even higher with back tail dragging if you wanted to, so it looks a bit more like the old Kenner one. You can kind of position it to look kind of like the old Kenner style, where the head was like that. So it does have some positionability, and when you have it in that kind of pose, it brings it up to nearly 10.5 inches. So it is kind of big for its size, but the kind of standard position that it's kind of default way it is shown in the movie and kind of depicted is kind of more like this, with the head in a kind of more neck in a kind of more upright position, but the rest of the body in a more lengthwise. It is very articulated, as you can see. So the head and jaw are on a kind of hinge system. So when you move one, it moves the other. So if you move the upper head, it moves the lower jaw. There's a ball joint here. It looks like a ball joint here, but you don't get much in the wiggle room. But there is an extra joint for the neck. Give it more up and down. Even though it has teeny little arms, it does have articulation, so you can bend the arms out that much, and you can rotate the arm all the way around. You have a little hinge in the elbow. There's nothing in the wrist. You have these tiny little baby fingers or baby hands that it comes with, which is a standard staple of a Carnotaurus. So we'll get those back into kind of a more neutral pose. Legs are on those kind of ball joints. You can kind of get some wiggle movement on the hip. There is a joint here, and a joint here. There is rocker ankles. no peg holes, and because this is a Hammond collection, it doesn't have the data facts app thing that the standard line has. You have dual section for the tail, so where you connect it in is a joint, but you also have this section here. Now it is worth noting that from this point onwards on the tail is a bendy wire, but you don't have the bendy wire going all the way through the tail like on some of the other Hammond collection dinosaurs. So for scale comparison, we shall bring in, now the electronics is a bit funky on this one at the moment. This is the basic line, or the standard line version of the Carnotaur. You can see they kept the coloring somewhat similar. It has darker striping on it than it does. This one is a more kind of lighter brown, but this, and the hands are way smaller on this one. As you can see, they're tiny compared to the kind of chubby little baby hands that this one has. So there is some differences between the two. And then for another size comparison, we'll bring in the Minion one that was released with, this is the one that came with Owen with the bike set. It's supposed to be the kind of chase scene set from when he gets chased by the Atrociraptors. You got this guy with that set and Owen Grady on a bike. So you can see, let's see if I just drop down the camera a touch and try and keep this guy in screen. You can see them together. So you can see how these guys kind of scale up. These guys are almost on the same scale, but there is, as you can see, clearly differences between them. Sculpt wise, they are different as well. The kind of basic one, if I take this guy out of the way, has a more bony ridge pattern going along the tail. There's kind of ridges going along the side, whereas this one doesn't, they're not as prominent. So they are sorted there, but they're not as noticeable as on the kind of the basic line version. So I'm going to get this guy standing here in the background. I'm going to bring in some other Hammond collection dinosaurs. So let's start with, is it Concavenator? Is that the right pronunciation? So you can see this guy is bigger than this is kind of more medium size than the kind of large size. Or sorry, these guys are more medium than this large size. The other thing this thing has going for it, and we'll get into it in a second, is they have changed up something else on this. So here is Metricantosaurus, which is slightly bigger than Concavenator. We have the Iterator, or Irritator, whichever way you want to pronounce it. So you can see, it does tower over some of those. And as you can see, these guys have the connection here for the tail, but the tail from the whole way along is the bendy wire material on these ones. Whereas that one is segmented. There is at least one section that is the hard plastic of the same as the body. So the other thing that this guy has, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it on screen because it is hard to capture it in the right light. If I bring down the head, try and get the light on it, the eyes are the glass ball things they did like with the T-Rex. Now I don't believe I have done the T-Rex, a review for the T-Rex, so you know, if I had a light source somewhere, hang on, I might be able to get a light source. It really depends on how you get the light to capture this, but you can see on both eyes there's almost what it looks like an amber piece for the eye itself, and then inside that there's a small dot for the pupil. And if you get in the right light, it almost looks like the pupil is tracking you while you're moving it. It has that kind of similar illusion that, you know, like paintings have, where if you're looking at a painting and it looks like it's following you around the room, it's that kind of optic illusion. So it has something similar like with these. And as far as I know, going forward, Mattel has said they're going to be opting this sort of style for the eyes in hopefully all, if not nearly most of the new dinosaurs that are coming out. On the back of the box, which I didn't show off, well, I did show the back of the box, but I didn't mention it. On the back of the box, here is two other dinosaurs and Owen Grady. The Velociraptor Blue and the Metrodon also have these glass eye effect things, and they're in the smaller scale. They're actually the same size as the standard kind of basic dinosaur. So hopefully if they go back and reissue maybe some of the first wave stuff, even these guys, although the Iterator is still one of my favorite sculpts, it's so different to the actual basic line stuff. Concavenator might do it with that upgrade, and even the Metricanthrosaurus could do with that glass eye upgrade. I know some people aren't a fan of it. I like it. I don't think it distracts too much. I know sometimes it makes the eyes look a little dark, but it is what it is. But going forward, they said they're going to be using that technology or method for doing the eyes on the Hammond collection figures, just to make them stand out a little different to the basic stuff. And then we'll just bring in Ian Malcolm here for a kind of size comparison, so you can see him next to some of the Hammond collection dinosaurs, which look really, really cool. So even if you're not a fan of the human characters, you could pass on those and just collect the dinosaurs. The dinosaurs themselves are very nicely sculpted and very well put together. The only one I've ever had issue with is the Jurassic Park 3 male Velociraptor, the kind of greyish one with the feathered head. The one that I had an issue with the tail section, where the place where you plug it in to the tail was missing, so it wouldn't go in properly, but that was rectified by the company I bought it off, and they gave me a replacement one. So, but that was the only kind of QC issue I've had with any of the Hammond collection stuff. Everything else has been pretty good so far, touch wood. So there you go, guys. There is a video review for the Carnotaurus. This was available on Amazon. That's where I picked this one up. Amazon.com, that is. I'm not sure if it's available on the other Amazon sites, but this one was available on Amazon.com, and it is a really nice addition to the Hammond collection dinosaur. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this video and stuck around to watch the whole lot. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and hopefully share with other friends so I can get more subscribers for my channel. And it's always handy to have a good fan base. So cheers, guys. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Cheers.